Now my clicker. I don't really need to introduce myself. I think you all know me. But today we're going to be covering, again, how to capture leads with social media. We're going to review a few things, one being what's called the 10-5-1 strategy. Have you guys covered this already? Have you looked at that at all?
And like 5 comments, 1 message or something.
Yeah. Exactly. So we're going to be going through that and how to set that up. We'll also be going over some posting practice, so just some best practices around what you should be posting and how much. So we're going to be looking at the 80-20 principle. If you've ever taken 6 personal perspectives or any of the other KW courses, we do talk about that a lot. And then we'll be going through some other strategies that you can use on social media to increase engagement, things like that. So I just want to ask before we dive in, what social media platforms do you all use?
Facebook and Instagram for me. A little bit of LinkedIn, but not much.
Same for everyone else?
Same here.
There's
I
a
just
lot.
add TikTok to that list.
Yes. Yeah, TikTok's becoming a big one for sure. Video is becoming more and more popular. But yeah, Facebook and Instagram are primarily what everyone's using right now. So we'll talk about that a little bit today. We definitely won't take 2 hours to go through all of this, but at the end, if you have any questions about social media or how to use the command to do it, you have me for 2 hours. So kind of have a Q&A session at the end if you'd like. So we'll start with a quote. So it takes time to learn something, more time to implement it, and even longer to approach mastery of it. Do you have any questions about implementing or mastery, how that looks when it comes to social media?
Well, I'm hoping that this this will make me a master after this session there, Jessica.
Try our best. Social media is a hard one to master because things are constantly changing. The way social media platforms work, like when you log in, sometimes it looks completely different than it did yesterday. So you finally feel like you know what you're doing, and then they change it all. But what doesn't change is the strategy and the things that you're doing and the activities that you're doing. It's really just the actual practical doing it that might change. But what I'm going to show you today is something that's completely timeless, no matter what platform you're using or whether it's 10 years from now, the strategy is still going to be relevant. So there. So again, we're going to start with the 10-5-1 engagement system. Slide here. So Alex mentioned that 10-5-1 stands for 10 likes, 5 comments, and 1 either direct message or post or share. So that is a strategy that you can use. It's going to increase engagement on your social media. We'll look at that. So exactly how we said it. So 10 likes or loves. So when you're scrolling through your Facebook account or your Instagram feed, this is something you want to be doing. You can time block for it as well. Just sit down and like 10 posts as you're scrolling. Make sure they're ones that of people you want to engage with. But social media is a great tool to use. It's free. And it's important that you're active on social media and not just posting and then leaving it. So going through and liking other people's posts are going to remind them that you exist. And then hopefully they'll be engaging with your posts as well. How do you think interacting with other people on social media would affect your business or help your business?
Well, it puts you out there, but I will say something though, is when I look at when I'm on, Facebook or Insta or whatever, and I see like a ton of other agents posting, and it's almost like it's tiresome and weary. And I don't know, I'm afraid that the public might think that as well. Do you know what I mean? Like just constant, and not even like, I mean, some of it, don't get me wrong, is good information, but some of it is just like, oh, sold this house in 2 days, gone. I don't know, just wearisome. And I've heard that from other people too, saying, oh my gosh, like, so I don't want to be one of those.
Holly.
Yes.
So I felt the same way. And then I
came to realize we see all that because we're friends with 150 realtors in the city on average.
Yeah.
So if you look at your actual like friends and clients that like, most likely they only have 2 or 3 in their like friend list. So they're not getting plagued with it like you are.
Oh, right, yeah, that's probably very true.
And I
gotta
have,
I gotta get rid of some of those friends. Just-
I have another spin on that approach too. Like for me, when I first started, I'm almost 2 years in, but when I first did it, it was so foreign to me, like an industry to literally promote you're just doing your job. Like it was so strange. And full disclosure, I am the person that says accepted offer, sold. I post everything. And the reason I did was because when I first started, I had so many clients. I'm from a hair world, and I have so many clients, like hair clients, who would say, "Oh, you're doing real estate. You're getting in at a good time. Blah 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 blah. Let me know how it goes. I might have someone for you." And people almost treated it as, I was one of the people like everybody and the dog got into real estate. When they followed me and saw accepted offer, sold, listing, like all these things that I was posting, they completely changed the way they talked to me. And they were like, "Wow, you're doing so well. I let Betty know, or I let Susie know." And so as much as at the beginning, I didn't even want to post accepted offer, blah, 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 sold. It really got me business, but it also got me, what's the word? People to take me seriously.
Right, yeah,
Credibility.
that's good, that's a good story, that is good.
Yeah.
All you can always unfollow them so that you're not, technically offending anyone if you want to unfriend them. You can go to their profile if you don't know, and you can unfollow, or there's ways you can control what how you see what people are posting, and you don't have to see their stuff.
Right, yeah,
As I have an unfriend finder extension in my social media. I've had it for years because I've been in sales for years, and I'm always trying to gauge, like, if somebody unfriends me, I always think, is it because I'm posting too much? Is it because, I'm exactly like you're thinking, you don't want to be annoying them.
right, yeah, that's what I'm thinking, is that, it's annoying, but now that I think about this, I'm seeing everybody's, but my sphere or friends are, may not be because of that, but yeah, because it was annoying me, and I thought, oh my God, if it's annoying me and I'm in the business, it must be annoying everybody else too. But yeah, good point.
Yeah, I think that's a really important point, is that you're gonna see stuff from people that you have on your friends list. So like Alex said, you're gonna get a ton of real estate stuff if you have a ton of real estate agents on your feed, but not everyone does. So as long as you're coming from that place of contribution and trying to add value and, promote yourself in a way that.
It's also the algorithm, like if you're
Yeah.
stopping and watching some of these realtors reels or videos or liking their posts, Facebook is watching and keeps repopulating them again in front of you because they know you like it.
Yes, I did stop doing that actually, because I did realize that I stopped interacting or liking because I was getting them all the time. So I did stop that. And to tell you the truth, I think I've kind of got a little bit of a handle on it now. So I'm not seeing as many anymore, which is good.
Yeah, and so you can use this strategy too as you're going through your newsfeed. When you're choosing your 10 posts to like the things that you actually want to see in your newsfeed. That's telling Facebook the things you want to see, and the algorithm's going to start feeding you more of that type of content. So, and not to say don't like other realtors' posts. Obviously, you want to support people, but
Yeah.
Pick and choose what you're going to interact with so that your newsfeed is relevant to you as well. Okay. Then we go into comments. So it doesn't need to be anything big. You're not writing a novel, but just a simple word of encouragement, spread some positivity, congratulations, admiration, things like that. It can be really easy to overthink these things when you're going to write comments on people's posts. But just think of what you would want to hear in response to that post if you had posted it. So that is something to keep in mind. Everyone wants to be heard, right? And then we go into either one shared direct message or original post. So if you're thinking you have to post, one post every single time you're doing this, you don't have to. It can be as simple as going through and finding one of your service providers that you want to support, or another local business that posted something that you can share. You can also think of, in your community, are there any pages that post updates like school closures or anything like that, charities in need, things like that you can share that are going to add value to your clients that aren't necessarily real estate focused. So that's one way to do it if, posting every single day is not something that you want to do. And you can also direct message people. So if you see someone post something, instead of commenting something nice, send them a nice message. Just remind them that you're there and that you care about them and staying top of mind. Okay. Any ahas on this part so far? 10, 5, 1.
It's a really great reminder, honestly, because I've been seeing it in the other Ignite sessions and I'm like, yeah, that's reminding me of something, but thank you for spelling it out. I did take a photo.
Perfect. So it is outlined as well on page 8.3 in your manual. If you want to write any notes there, but yeah, it just gives you a structure so that you don't end up in the mindless scroll when you get on Facebook. You know exactly what you're there to do, like 10 posts, comment on 5 things, and send a message or share something. So it's easy to time block that. Can't take more than 20 minutes to half an hour to scroll through and do that. And then you've done your engagement for the day. So
I get stuck on the kitten and puppy reels.
yeah,
And honest to God, I swear 15 minutes could go by and I haven't even blinked. I have to find a way to
Yeah,
get
I
in and
hear
do what I
you.
need to do. Yeah. And then just get out.
something else I didn't mention as well for the sending a message. Facebook makes it really easy because you get a notification every day of what friends you have on Facebook that have a birthday. That's a really good reason to reach out to people, send them a message, say happy birthday, and then go put that birthday in your database because now you know it. Any other final ahas on this?
Oh, that was an aha. That was a good one. Even though Facebook reminds me, it'd be nice to say happy birthday Eve the night before.
Yeah. Put them on a smart plan, it texts them automatically. All right, moving on into best practices for posting. So Holly, this should help you a bit as well. Feeling like you don't want to post too much real estate. So that's what we're going to look at. And we do this through the 80-20 principle. So you've heard this talked about a lot in various different courses, but when it comes to social media, it just means that you want no more than 20% of what you're posting to actually be about real estate. You want 80% to be about you. So you don't want to be inundating people with real estate posts, of course. But if you have a lot of things to post, you just want to make sure that you're sprinkling in some bits of you so people are getting to know you as a person and not just as the real estate agent. Okay, so that means 1 out of every 5 posts you make should be business related and the rest should be about you. Okay, why do you think that would be important?
Because it makes you not just a real estate agent, it makes you a person. And excuse me, you can kind of start to build a relationship. People feel that they know you a little bit and that, you know, you're approachable and all that kind of stuff. Unless you're posting all kinds of religious and political stuff,
Yeah,
which
depends on what you're posting, but
yeah,
It
that's
helps to be relatable.
yeah.
right, exactly.
Yeah, people want to work with people that they feel they have stuff in common with. And this is your sort of time to shine and showing people what you like, what you're interested in, because then those like-minded people are who are going to reach out to you. And of course, you as an agent, you also want to work with like-minded people who, you know that you're going to get along with. So definitely something you want to put into practice. So we're looking at the 80%, thinking, how am I going to fill 4 out of my 5 posts and stuff about me instead of real estate? These are some different topics that you may post about. Things like your pets, art, recipes, cooking, exercising, outdoor adventures, music, sports, really anything that you're interested in. Can be as simple as you go to get your morning coffee and snap a picture at the coffee shop. Tag the local business, and now you've made your post for the day and you've supported another local business. Could end up in some referrals depending on it as well. Okay. Post about what you're reading. If you're reading a new book, take a picture of it, post it. And it doesn't need to be a post on your actual Facebook page or your Instagram page. Stories are really good. They stay up for 24 hours. So it's just, a lot of people are just scrolling through their stories on social media. So I do recommend looking into that if you're not using them. Because they're just quick ways to get those little bits of information out there without flooding the news feed. Okay.
Sorry, Jessica, can you just repeat that? Look into what? Stats? No.
Stories.
Oh, stories. Yeah, right.
So on
Okay.
Instagram and Facebook, you can post stories.
Right,
Just
yeah.
24-hour posts. They don't go into the news feed. But I know myself, when I open Instagram, I instantly go and just watch the stories at the top before I start scrolling. So it's a good way to
Right.
get, as you're going through your day to day, just snap pictures, take videos of whatever you're doing. You don't need to overthink it or plan these things out. That's just an easy way to be able to connect with people. Okay. So on page 8.6, here, we're gonna take a couple minutes just to look at this page. So in your manual, page 8.6, you can list a bunch of things that you're passionate about. So if you think of the things that you could post about on social media, maybe it's, again, your pets. We have some examples up here. Just brainstorm a few of those things that you could start including in your regular posting. I'll give you 2 minutes to think about that. Does anyone want to share some of the things that you wrote down that you were passionate about, to post about?
I just wrote in, it's on here basically, but mine is pets, my dog. So anybody that's friends with me knows that. And share recipes. I do that a lot. Outside scenes, the winter, the snowfall and, that kind of stuff. And, a few social things that I've done.
Perfect.
Usually in my stories, I'll add food, like restaurant visits. Maybe I'm passionate about it, but it's always something that's relatable and I'm definitely enjoying it. So it's a go-to for me.
For me, as someone who's moved around a lot in Canada, my social media has always been first and foremost a way to keep my friends and family connected. So I tend to post pictures of the lake or different things about Nova Scotia. Mostly to make the ones in Thunder Bay jealous that we don't have 8 feet of snow, but just a lot about what's going on in my life. And it works with potential clients too, just builds more of the picture of who you are.
Yeah. Then we go into the 20%, which is the real estate focused posts. So things like your listings, open houses, awards. We just had awards night, so that's a good one to post about. Speaking events, if you were speaking at anything or you're hosting a home buyer seminar, whatever it is, basically anything real estate related. that could be things like market stats, really anything you can think of within that real estate realm. So as you look at this diagram here, and I believe it is in the manual on page 8.5. This is just a visual to see how many of your posts should be personal versus business. Another thing you can do that kind of has a foot in both personal and business is inspirational quotes. These do tend to go over really well. They're really easy to brand if you have a nice aesthetic Instagram or Facebook feed. But just posting things that are relevant to your ideal clients. You want to attract people that are like you. So think of the different things that inspire you. If you hear any other inspirational quotes, you don't even have to post them yourself. You can share them if you follow any of those pages that post different quotes like that. But again, it's if someone interacts with that post, gives you an opportunity to reach out and sort of make them feel heard, because obviously they've related to that type of quote. So just think about that when you're posting, but that's one way to kind of hit both sides, that it's business related and personal.
So Jessica, one other thing, when I was working with a social or a search engine optimization, I was doing sales with this company anyway. They used to go and listen to the current Google. They'd fly to California every month and listen to what Google was changing. And one of the things they always told us is it is the 80-20, but of that 20, only about 5% of that 20 or whatever, a small percentage should be an actual ask for business. The rest of it should be about real estate, but not all asking, more like sharing information, helpful things with a real estate theme. And
Yeah.
then, a very small portion of that, is that, basically, you know what I'm saying, the ask.
Yeah. So the asks should be a small percentage, like you said. The rest should be providing value. So when you're thinking of those things you're posting, make sure it's something that someone's going to be interested in, or it's a piece of information someone wants to know. So providing market stats, for example, if you're providing that value to your community, it shows that you are knowledgeable about that community, and you may end up getting some messages about it. So there's ways to post, like I said, about real estate that aren't asking for business. It's just sharing your expertise and sharing value. I think that's the biggest thing. Okay, you can even go above and beyond this. So beyond that 20%, you can sort of put 10% into community service. So this is things like, property tax increases, school closures, food banks that are in need, those type of posts that are serving the community, providing value once again, that aren't really about your business or your personal life. It's just, helping those different causes that you're passionate about. So definitely something, if community service is big on your list, you'll want to include some of those types of posts. And that can even be your shares. So follow those different organizations on Facebook, Instagram, see what they're posting, and then you can share it to your own feed to spread the word in your community. Okay. Any ahas or questions so far on this?
I guess I have a question about, and I mean, nobody can really dial into those algorithms that Alex mentioned, but I see a lot of realtors, they go in and they schedule, and I don't know if it's a Remax suggestion. One is my friend actually from Remax, and she does like something Monday, tell it Tuesday, information Wednesday, and she's basically just posting stuff. And I can tell it's scheduled, and I'm thinking it's just to keep the page sort of active. Does anybody have any comments on those types of sort of, like, I look at them and I think they just look like she's struggling to find things to post about. Does that hurt your online presence, or does that help in terms of those algorithms and getting people to find you?
I
I
mean, I
find-
think it helps in keeping your page active for sure, but
Yeah.
also, is it providing value? Like, are you posting just to post? Because if you're posting just to post something, there's really no point in putting that type of
So
effort in.
the only automated ones like that I do is I took some time a while ago and just made a graphic for every major holiday for the year.
Yeah.
And then went into my Facebook and scheduled it to be posted on each of those, because I don't want to remember to make a post on Christmas morning. So I did it last week. So this coming Christmas in 10 months, my Facebook will just make a post. But for the day, like just to post daily, I wouldn't do it,
No.
because you're just clogging.
And I mean, if there's something, so Motivation Monday would be a good one. If sharing quotes is something you really like doing, the consistency of that you share a quote every Monday and that's just part of your system. I feel like that's kind of different, but a better way to go about it. You don't need to schedule something to go every single day. Because that's where
When
you
I-
get flooding the news feed.
When I first started, I found that scheduling, like having that was helpful because it was a little more challenging to come up with content. But now I find it's the more spontaneous posts. Like I will I love the command scheduling system, but I will still try and like do each individual post as opposed to a routine. It's Tuesday, I'm posting this sort of thing, because those posts I've found have had the least amount of engagement versus like the more spontaneous personal ones. I find they really dip if you can tell that it's just a structured scheduled thing.
For sure.
I find the other thing too is that you have to engage with your posts. Like you can't just post and then walk away and, clean your house or show houses and stuff. You need to comment and, be active with the comments and talking back in order to keep it going.
And we are going to talk about that a little bit. Increasing engagement, but yeah, I mean, you don't necessarily want to be posting something every single day structured like that. I'm sure it works for some people, but I think at the end of the day, it's just, is it providing value? Is the information you're putting out there, helping those people? You're posting stats every Wednesday. Like, are you taking the time to go in and make sure they're all up to date, and that, people are actually engaging? You can come up with a strategy from day one, but as time goes on, you're going to look at what posts are working and what aren't. And if there's certain posts that aren't working, just stop posting them and focus on the ones that are. I think it definitely depends on how you're implementing that strategy, but I would say I would definitely lean more towards the organic, day-to-day type of posts versus scheduling something every single day. Any final questions or ahas before we move on? All right. We're going into social media strategies. So move on there. So a couple different things. Connect with people you know or you've met. So Facebook's a great way. If you have them as a Facebook friend, very easy to connect with people. And do it using that 10-5-1. Make sure you're going through, liking posts, sending messages, commenting on things. That's just an easy way to stay connected with the people that you already know. Another good way is to look through, it'll often pop up in your feed, but people you may know, so you'll get suggestions of people to add. Whenever you see that pop up, I do recommend just scrolling through it, see if there's anyone, you forgot that existed, or maybe made a new Facebook account you didn't know, and just make sure that you're connected with all those people.
I like that one, but sometimes people you may know, and I'm going, really? I may know those people? I have no idea. Usually you have one friend in common, but I have found by scrolling through those that I'll go, oh, right, I forgot about that person. So that is a good one. I like it.
You can also post about your neighborhood. So that's where the hyper local information comes in, and they can fit in all of those boxes. So it could be about you. Maybe you're posting a picture of your favorite walking trail in your neighborhood. Could be about your business if it's stats about that neighborhood, community service, organizations in your neighborhood. So you can use these sort of ideas to find posts that you can make in each of those categories to hit your business, your personal, and community service. Okay. Using images, this is definitely one you'll want to consider. Whether you take them yourself, you can find stock images online. Just make sure that they're royalty free, so you're allowed to use them. Canva is really good for that. If you do use Canva, there's a lot of stock images. But something visual, if you just write a text post, it's usually gets lost in the mix. So something at least visual to catch their eye is very helpful. Congratulating new homeowners, of course, that's a business post. So when they hold up the sold sign in front of the house. And then posting about your listings and engaging with people. So just a few of those strategies, but we'll dive into this a little bit. So when you think about highlighting your business on social media, you want to make sure you're keeping people aware of the market trends, what's going on in real estate. And so you want to think of that hyper-local information that I mentioned. So market stats is helpful for that. Even just like NSAR's news, Korea's news, all of those different sources. You can find information that is relevant to people in your neighborhood. Utilizing tech developments. So that's something we talk about the KW app. Talk about the KW app a lot. And that has the ability to look at listings even outside of your neighborhood, outside of Nova Scotia, outside of Canada, really anywhere there's a KW office. So that's definitely something you should be adding to your arsenal if you're not already. You don't need to like replace Collab Center with it, but it's just another thing that you can use to provide value to potential clients and your clients. And then testimonials is another big one. So when you get a good review or a good message from someone after you've worked with them, just ask if they mind if you share it on social media, make a nice little graphic and post that. Word of mouth recommendations in real estate carry the same weight as any industry. So you really want to be capitalizing on that. And highlighting a happy message from a client is a great way to establish that credibility that we were talking about earlier. So. I think Flynn mentioned this earlier, so don't post and ghost. So when you do post something, don't just post it and leave Instagram. That's why scheduling does get a little bit odd sometimes with that, besides the holidays and things. But you want to be going in, and if someone comments, you want to reply to them. If they like your post, maybe go to their page and like one of their posts. Or if they like it and you don't follow them, go follow their page or add them as a friend, whatever it is. So definitely you want to be engaging with people that are engaging with you. Like it says here, engagement creates engagement. So the algorithm works in very mysterious ways, but one thing that it does do is it sees that you're replying to people, you're active on social media, it's going to push your post into more people's news feeds because people are actually liking and commenting.
I'll try to like share it to my stories a little while after if I have like the wherewithal to like, oh, go back in Instagram an hour or so. I'll take a hard post and put it on my stories, or even later, like I'll add a comment onto a hard post of my own. Like instead of putting the hashtags in the caption, I'll go in later and put them on the comment. I don't know if that like bumps it up, but I feel like it has something to do with keeping it, you know,
There's a lot of
afloat.
little tricks to boost it up for sure. Sharing on your stories is a big one. Because like I said, me personally, that's the first thing I look at when I go to Instagram. So I go right to the top and start watching stories. Then when I get bored, I go scroll through my feed. So you might hit people's stories a lot sooner and get it seen a lot sooner if you're sharing it there versus just posting and leaving it on your feed. Okay. Time blocking is really important for this, especially if you are scheduling stuff out and you're not, posting and then sitting there on Instagram. You want to make sure that you're going in every day and replying to comments. You might get comments on previous posts or ones you posted like a week or two ago. So you want to make sure you're still engaging with those people, even if you are using the scheduling tools. So don't forget that part. Why do you think it's important to acknowledge other people who comment or like your post? Besides increasing engagement.
I would say so you're engaging with them as opposed to just posting all your stuff and not bothering to interact with anybody else.
Yeah.
And maybe they'll interact back with you. Do you know what I mean? Like you keep that conversation rolling.
Exactly.
It's a little give and take too. If someone's supporting you, you want to kind of help support them or support them first, and maybe they'll come back to you after. But it's like a bit of balance, I guess.
And then adding value. So we talked about this as well. But just making sure in those communities that you're active in, that you're adding value to them. So a good way for this, depending on what community group it is, but there are Facebook groups for pretty much every community. If there's not, you should start one if it doesn't exist yet. Check the rules. Sometimes there's no self-promotion or things like that. But if you're just providing value, like, hey, tax bills are coming out, talk about whatever's happening. You don't need to promote yourself. It's just being a presence, and people will start to recognize you as someone that they can ask those questions to. So something to think about. I did see that tip. If you're looking for your community group and it doesn't exist, create it. Do that. Why not start that? Okay. There is an activity, I believe, on page 8.8, make you do it right now, but something you'll want to look at afterwards, to use your data, so from MLS, market stats, to create a post for social media. So there is an activity there, again, page 8.8, and it will have you go through and plan out your post, and then you can go on and post it social media. We'll go through all that. Okay. Other strategies you may want to think about, be authentic. So that's where that organic posting I mentioned comes in. So posting, when you wake up and make your coffee, post a nice picture of your mug. As you're going out for lunch or you're just driving around, just post things that highlight what you're doing in your day-to-day business. I think there's a lot of misconception around what realtors do every day. So showing what you're doing, going out, showing houses, putting up a sign, things as simple as that. People love to see it. People are really nosy. They want to know what you're up to. So being authentic, just post what you're doing. Really all you need. Don't be a jack of all trades. So you don't need to be everywhere on social media. Talk about there's a lot of different platforms from Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok. You don't need to master all of them, and you don't need to be on all of them. You'll find a much better return on your time if you're just focusing on one or two of them. Probably Facebook and Instagram is what most people are doing, and just put all of your effort into that. Once you feel like you've got that down pat, then you can start looking at other ones, but don't feel the pressure to be everywhere all at once. Embrace video. So this is a big one, of course, with TikTok and Reels. No one likes being in front of a camera, but it is important, and it's very different. Someone scrolling and hearing you talk about what you're passionate about versus just reading what you've written. So it's just an extra level of connection there. Use analytics to optimize your posts. So I did touch on this a little bit, but when you have a business page on Facebook or Instagram, when you go to each post, and there's even a special section to see an overview of all of your posts, but you can see what people are engaging with, what posts are getting more impressions, more comments, more likes. And you want to use this information to tailor what you're doing. So if you go, I would say try everything for at least 2 months, and then after that, see what's working, what people are engaging with. And if there's certain things you're posting, maybe it's your quotes and no one is interacting with them, probably time to phase those out or make them a little less frequent. And then put all your effort into the ones that are working. Maybe it's your reels that are doing really well, or you're talking about the market. You want to do more of those things. Okay. And ask for help. There's a lot of support around our ALC, other agents in the office. I'm here as well to ask questions too. Done quite a bit of training on social media. YouTube's a great resource as well, both for command and just social media in general. And then within Connect, there are different interviews and stuff with top agents talking about the different strategies they're using for social media. You can follow these types of people on social media, people who are doing the things that you want to do, to kind of give you ideas to base that off. So there's a lot of ways to get help for that. But again, we're always here to help. Get it? So just to recap, we have the 10-5-1. So 10 likes, 5 comments, 1 direct message, share, or post. You want 80% of your own posts to be about you, 20% about your business. And then, of course, our strategies. So make sure you're adding value. Don't post and ghost. Stay on, interact with people a little bit. And just make sure you're highlighting your business and sharing stuff that is going to be relevant to those people that you want to work with. Right. Any ahas? Quite a short session.
It insinuates with the 80-20 rule that you just run one profile. Would you run one, or would you run a business and a personal?
I would definitely run a business and a personal. You need to have one to have the employee, you need a personal to have business page. Yeah, I mean, definitely you want the business page to be more business related. And you can kind of use that principle on both. So make sure you're sharing some personal things on your business page. But then on your personal page, you can just share the posts from your business page to your personal page. So you don't need to post it twice. If you're posting on your business page, you can just straight share that to your own personal page, which then also shows the people you're friends with what your page name is. They can go and like it and find it that way. But yeah, I would recommend at least make sure you're including those personal posts on your business page. But yeah, on your personal page, just share them.
A couple of tips that I picked up through the past couple of years have been, one, on Facebook, when you're liking people's posts, don't just like what's in your feed, like go through the alphabet and then you'll see more different people, because you don't always see every single friend you have on Facebook. So that's a nice way to increase, like, to spread out your engagement. And the other one was on Instagram. You can search by location, hashtags of location, and then just go through, like, you know, the geotags and different neighborhoods and stuff, and interact with those posts specifically to just kind of be in and around your area. Is kind of a nice way to stay present, I guess.
Yeah. Anyone else?
I'll just throw into, if you're going to be doing video in Instagram, turn the caption creator on.
Yes. Good point.
Not everybody. has to have the
Why
video,
is that?
because people are, if you're me, you're impatient. You don't want to wait for them to hum and haw or whatever. And it
Oh,
goes
right,
with
yeah.
the way you're speaking, but it's for a number of reasons. Sometimes people can't have their volume on, like they're sneaking a peek at work or whatever.
Right, right. Okay,
It's
good one.
it's just the trendy way to do it. I actually had a meeting with a social media person and she gave me a pile of tips, and that's one of the ones she said, absolutely. The other thing she told me is, Instagram is relatively new to Nova Scotia, not new to Nova Scotia, but the use of it in this way, like, and different places in the world, there'll be more popular platforms like Twitter, she said, is not very popular here. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, maybe bin your Twitter for now. But she said Facebook and Instagram for Nova Scotia are the two top platforms that people engage on.
Good to know.
To add to that point, Tanya, another big reason to be using captions is you may have people following you that can't hear. They can't hear what you're saying. Your video's
True.
not gonna impact them, right? So think of it from like an accessibility standpoint. People who are deaf or hard of hearing, they won't be able to tell what you're saying. So with the captions, that makes it much easier. And you'll reach a wider demographic that way.
Point.
All right. So for ahas to achievement, how has your thinking changed around social media? Have you come up with any ideas or mindset changes through this class?
I think it's solidifying for me some of the thought processes that I've already had, but hadn't really been implementing them all. I've started to put more of a focus on it, but this is just starting to drill in to how much more I should be doing and how much more strategic I should be about what I am currently doing.
Your homework today is to go and do your 10-5-1, scroll through social media, like 10 posts, comment on 5, and direct message 1. I do want to mention this additional training. So if you liked the suggestions and ideas of things to post, I did a session quite a few months ago called Level Up Your Social Media Without Spending Money. And I went through sort of different topics you can post about, and then actually where to find free content. So there's links there for like MSAR's news, Korea, different sources that you can be pulling that local information from. So if you haven't watched that one, I do highly recommend tuning into that. It is on our YouTube channel. And that's it for the session. It's a short one. Like I said, you have me for till 12 technically. So if you guys have any questions about social media, or you want me to go through anything on command related to social media, I'm happy to do that. While you're up here.
That was great. Thank you so much, Jess.
Yeah, that was good. Thank you.
Thanks, Jessica. That was great.
You're welcome. Yeah, if you guys have any questions about social media or how to use command to implement those things, just send me a message and I can send you videos, or we can set up a time to meet.
Oh, goody. I'll see you soon. Kidding. Yep, thanks. See y'all.